so would you just verbalize it unmuted, please? So.
So like with like living out of these strengths that are supposed to be like, they're defining in a way who we are, but really knowing that we are created, yeah, just apart from those things, that those things don't make us all of who we are. So how do we live out of them without getting so attached to, I'm the helper, or I'm the, you know, yeah.
Yeah, without using them as labels in a way that kind of restricts us instead of liberates us.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay, great question. All of these are really wonderful questions. So I'm going to take it from the top, and then we'll just kind of see what unfolds from here. But so Cindy's question, as we evolve, learn more about ourselves, is there a shift in our top 5 strengths? Yes and no, but really from like a research vantage point, Gallup, the company that came up with this whole strengths framework, they say that most people live on a daily basis, live more out of their top 12 to 15 strengths. So even the top 5 is really just like the kind of the icing on the cake, but there's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that really affect and really determine how you show up. Usually what I've seen will happen is if someone takes the assessment in one season of life and then they go back a few years later, maybe in a different situation, and take it again, they might have a different top 5 show up. But if you were to look at the full 34 side by side, they would have the same 10 or 12 at the top. Some of them have just shifted. So I don't know if that's helpful to speak to your question at all, Cindy, but really one of the things that's important beneath that is that you're definitely much more than your top 5, but the reason Gallup only gives you a top 5 is because of this tendency we have to go towards what's wrong with us and want to fix that, instead of really just focusing our energy on what's the strongest and what we bring to the table. So I don't know if that speaks to your question or anything around it, but is there anything helpful in that, Cindy?
Yeah, I think that, I think that for me, adaptability is my 3rd highest strength.
Okay.
And I sometimes feel like that it should be the 1st strength, because I feel like I'm constantly adapting to daily living.
Okay. Yeah. And that's a great insight. Here's something important, okay? When you got your results from Gallup, they came in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not necessarily how they show up in your life. So my wife, as an example, one of my coaches has a thing he calls your core strength. Your core strength is like the one that's like the hub through which all other strengths operate. For me, my core strength does happen to be my number 1. It's belief, which is about my convictions. It's about my sense of values. So everything filters out for me through my value system, in a different way than just a general sense, if that makes sense. I don't want to take too much time to explain that now. But so for my wife, though, her number 6 is one called a ranger. And for her number 6 in a lot of seasons of life actually functions as her core theme. So we didn't even have language for it until 10 years after we had first experienced Clifton's strengths. But once we found her number 6 and realized how strong it is for her, we were like, oh, that's why we've been able to stay married this whole time. Because all of her other strengths are very much geared towards consistency, clarity, structure, routine. So she has like ones like harmony, which is all about flow and all about like steadiness. She has consistency. She has deliberative. So everything is about like heading a certain direction with a sense of confidence and certainty. But a ranger loves chaos. And so when we found that but what a ranger likes to do is take chaos and direct it towards something. So once we found out that her number 6 was a ranger, we were like, oh yeah, chaos and direction. So your number 3 could very much be kind of the hub. around, you know, the center of that strength system around which all the other ones orbit. It sounds like that feels very true for you, especially in this season at least, right? Anybody, do any of the rest of you resonate with that? That there's maybe another one that's not your number one, that's like, wow, this is like the most potent one in the mix. Yeah, so it's helpful just to know that that's okay, and that that's often the case. So yeah, thanks for that question. So Mark said, should we care at all about our bottom five? Marcos, tell me what you mean by should. What is, tell me what's